of those gifts. I don't know what day it comes out. Today I'm driving in and I'm like, might as well be Christmas. I mean, I don't even have to talk about it today, but I led with it. So he has, this is where NFL executives and I totally agree. In their tiers, 4 tiers, they have Jalen Hurts, 9th, 10th best quarterback. And fans view quarterbacks through the lens of, hey, they win. Well, Trent Dilfer and Nick Foles have Super Bowl rings, and Dan Marino doesn't.
Oh, my God.
Matt Hasselbeck doesn't. Matt Hasselbeck is better than Nick Foles by a lot and Trent Dilfer. So GMs are asked to contextualize it. And if it was just about winning for a quarterback, then how did Patrick Mahomes get drafted in the first round, and how did Josh Allen? I watched Josh Allen play 2 good teams in college, Iowa and Oregon. He got crushed by both. Fans view quarterback, it's all about winning. You have, you're asked, Matt Stafford played in the NFL for 12 years and did not win a playoff game. He's a tier 1 quarterback, and he was Sean McVay's #1 target. So this is not a knock on Jalen Hurts. He's not as tall as you'd like. He's about the same size or shorter than Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy last week went on a podcast and said, 40% of the time, I can't see who I'm throwing to. Tua has said publicly, yeah, a lot of times I let go of the ball. I can't see the receiver. So, and the other thing is, and this is just so obvious, the Eagles had a bye week. Remember when Tom Brady went to Bruce Arians? They were 7-5, and they had a bye week. You can break down your offense in that bye week and kind of make a major, it's hard to get off the treadmill week to week to week. But when you get that bye week and you get 3 or 4 extra practices, Tom Brady goes to Bruce Arians and says, we're going to change up the offense. Last year in the bye week, the people who know him best said, you know, we'd be better off throwing less.
And that's where the clip ends for me. We've been over this so many times. So many times. And it's getting pretty old. Because the Buffalo Bills in 23 into 24 have asked Josh Allen to throw the ball less. Harbaugh has asked Justin Herbert to throw the ball less. In 2018 into 2019, Patrick Mahomes' passing attempts got slashed and threw for half the amount of passing touchdowns, 25, and 1,000 less passing yards. Then they won the Super Bowl in 2019 and 2018, yet no one said, oh, it's because they asked Patrick Mahomes to throw less. We have to stop with this ridiculous narrative. We just have to stop. And in the beginning of the season, before that bye, A.J. Brown wasn't playing. He was injured. And Devontae missed a game during that stretch as well. So yeah, trying to throw the ball a lot when you're missing your wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and I think for at least a game you're missing your number 1 tight end, yeah, it's a little tough. It's a little tough. I mean, we need to stop with this. We need to stop with this. And to keep trying to evoke Trent Dilfer and Jalen Hurts is just so insane when we go through what Jalen Hurts has done throughout these playoff runs. How much he's passed the ball. What he's done with his legs. You understand that when we're ranking and considering quarterbacks, it's not just strictly passing. We understand that, right? Like that should be obvious. It's more than just, well, can you pass the ball? And you want to talk about Tua, and you want to talk about Brock Purdy. And in the biggest moments and in the biggest games, Jalen Hurts has played better than both of those quarterbacks, with, according to Colin, inferior coaching staffs. He does not believe that Kellen Moore is better than Kyle Shanahan. And don't tell me that he didn't have weapons. Debo, Christian McCaffrey, Kittle. What are we gonna make up here now? Tua's having Tyreek Hill and boy genius head coach who was with considered to be an offensive genius. Tua couldn't do nothing in his playoff game. He had a big game against Buffalo Bills, which is essentially a playoff game in 23. Didn't step up like Jalen Hurts has stepped up, that's for sure. And here's what someone left in my comments. Can we stop? This is their career record throwing 30 plus times. I mean, can we stop? And listen, I don't even think that these stats even accurately even show you the real story at hand. Because it's not like I'm going to say, oh, Joe Burrow is a bad thrower of the ball, right? And that's why when they ask him to throw the ball 30 plus times, look at their record. It's like, no, that's not the case either, right? Same thing with Lamar, Josh, etc. And the way how Andy Reid runs his offense with Patrick Mahomes, like I've highlighted a million times, which is the opposite of what the Philadelphia Eagles do, is that you can get a lot more passing attempts when you're throwing a lot of screen passes, a lot of schemed throws, a lot of passes that are behind the line of scrimmage. It's a very specific style that the Philadelphia Eagles do not do with Jalen Hurts. If they ran a different style offense, they could still run the ball just as much and even take the ball out of Jalen's hands, apparently, but still have him throw an extra 2, 3, 4 times a game that are just these, again, these schemed throws. These throws where it's just like, everyone understands what's about to happen here. Any quarterback can do it. As long as you can throw an accurate ball 4 yards, you're going to make the play. But it's not how the Philadelphia Eagles have run their offenses with Jalen Hurts. And as I had showed you in a previous clip about with Darius Slay talking about how they don't scheme A.J. Brown open. Their offense has not been built on we are scheming guys open and getting them in space and having Jalen Hurts distribute it. So if you want Jalen Hurts just to consistently throw to guys who are covered and make tough throws game after game after game, especially in games where A.J. Brown isn't there and Devontae isn't there, then yeah, it might not look the prettiest. So it's just kind of ridiculous. And then in the big moment games where they're then asking him to throw a lot, like in an NFC championship game or make huge throws in a Super Bowl, multiple Super Bowls, he does it. So this implication that you're dealing with a Trent Dilfer here or a quarterback who they need to take the ball out of their hands is getting ridiculous. It's getting insane. They consistently put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands in the biggest moments of games. Consistently. In multiple Super Bowls. With different coordinators. With different rosters and different pieces. And different linemen. It's getting ridiculous at this point. It really is. It really is. What did people complain about with Lamar Jackson in the AFC Championship game and the divisional round? They didn't run the ball enough, which is a fact. It's a truth claim. Because that's how their offense can be run better. Doesn't mean that Lamar Jackson is obviously a bad quarterback. Because those same people who ranked him tier 1. So it's just absurd at this point. It really is. Let's add the context then. So this is now including the regular season and the postseason to try to equalize the games. But they're still wrong because it says Jalen Hurts played 19 and he actually didn't because he left the game early. He only played, he only played very briefly against the Commanders when he got knocked out. But when you kind of equalize it a little bit, where they all played kind of, 19, 18 games, Jalen Hurts is right up there with everyone else. Okay? Justin Herbert, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Jalen Hurts, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. CJ Stroud, 21 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, 31 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Jalen Hurts, 8 yards per attempt. Jane Daniels, 7.4. Lamar Jackson, 8.8. Josh Allen, 7.7. CJ Stroud, 7.2. Patrick Mahomes, 6.9. Justin Herbert, 7.7. Completion percentage, 69.2%. Higher than all of them except for Jared Goff at 71.3. This obviously isn't factoring in total touchdowns for Jalen Hurts, because we know how that offense is run. Passer rating, 104.7. You can see Jane Daniels, 99.7. Lamar Jackson, 119. Josh Allen, 102. CJ Stroud, 87.6. Patrick Mahomes, 94.5. Herbert, 97.3. Goff, 108.2. I mean, we can stop pretending. What about the pressure of the O-line? 223 dropbacks with pressure. Lamar Jackson, 232. Josh Allen, 211. CJ Stroud, 274. Patrick Mahomes, 254. Justin Herbert, 209. Even less. And again, Jalen Hurts had less dropbacks, and yet he was still pressured at a higher rate because he had 556 dropbacks. Patrick Mahomes had a lot more, not a lot more, but a chunk more of pressures. He had 770 dropbacks. That's different. And then you'll say, yeah, but they asked him to pass less because they were winning these games. What do you want him to do? Keep dropping back in the fourth quarter? Just dishing it out? Like, I don't understand. He did it in the playoffs. I mean, this is what's so insane. So Jalen Hurts had one extra game in the playoffs because he kept winning. And he reached the Super Bowl and then he won the Super Bowl. So he had one extra game. Even if we just take away like 20, 30 dropbacks, because he had an extra game, and then equalize it with like Josh Allen, for instance, who played 3 games. Josh Allen had 92. Jalen Hurts had 114. So literally it would be the exact same range of Josh Allen. And Jalen Hurts played in a game where there was a blizzard. And his first game back was coming back from a concussion and was in a wild card round against the Green Bay Packers. Right? You see how there's a little bit of a difference here. And then a couple of his games were in the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. I mean, I just don't get it. I really, really don't. It's just starting to just not really make a whole lot of sense. Because this is now the 2 most important games of the year for the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay? The 2 most important games of the years. The NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. And they had him drop back 60 times. So 60 times they were saying, we want you to throw the ball. And he threw the ball 50 times. So he averaged 25 pass attempts, 60 dropbacks. But again, there's times that he was like, I'm going to throw. They want him to throw, but it wasn't there. So he takes off, runs, sack, whatever. It's football, obviously. But they were anticipating him. They're like, we want you to throw. In the 2 most important games of the season. The 2 most important games of the season. The 2 most important games of the season. And he threw 74% completion percentage, 467 yards, 9.3 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, a 92.3 offensive rating, a 90.9 passing rating, PFF ratings now, 7 big-time throws. You can see Patrick Mahomes right below, 3 big-time throws. His pieces were there. Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, they were all there. Passer rating of 114.3. In 2022, Patrick Mahomes threw for 509 yards in the conference championship game and Super Bowl. And Jalen Hurts throws for 467. One is a hero and one is a zero. I mean, how does that make sense? I want to know. 115 passer rating for Patrick Mahomes. 509 yards, 7.3 yards per attempt. An absolute hero. Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, 74% completion percentage, 9.3 yards per attempt, and a 114.3 passer rating. And he's Trent Dilfer. These are both now going up against teams. They're going up against each other in both years, 22 and 20 and 24. Like, they're going up against each other here. And this is now what I'm talking about. Jalen Hurts in the NFC Championship game in the Super Bowl in 24 had 60 yards coming from behind the line of scrimmage. Patrick Mahomes had 19 pass attempts behind the line of scrimmage. 16 of those were completions for 124 yards. 19 pass attempts. Just a different structure of offense of how it's run. I mean, in 2024, on deep ball passing, 20 or more yards, 7 completions on 9 attempts, 77.8 completion percentage. In the same year, Patrick Mahomes was only 66.7%. 4 for 6. Jalen Hurts was better. Had a 97.1 PFF ranking to 95.3. In 2022, again, when Patrick Mahomes was a hero, he was 3 for 7, 42.9% completion percentage. 3 completions, 7 attempts on deep ball passing. 73 yards. Again, an absolute hero. But Jalen Hurts, under similar metrics, is a 0. Throws for 194 yards on deep ball passing. 7 for 9, but he's a 0. 2019, with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, deep ball passing, Patrick Mahomes. 75% completion percentage, 6 completions, 8 pass attempts. Again, this is all in the most important games, conference championship games and Super Bowls. 6 for 8. A 92.8 PFF ranking on deep ball passing and a 116.7 passer rating. 216 yards. An absolute hero, a legend. Jalen Hurts, higher completion percentage, 77.8% completion percentage. 7 completions, 9 attempts. 194 yards. And a 97.1 PFF ranking. But just Trent Dilfer. And a 116.2 passer rating. He's just Trent Dilfer. I'm literally using Patrick Mahomes' first Super Bowl run in 2019. And I used the Super Bowl run of 22. It's just like, I don't know what else you want me to do now. If I use 23, well, he didn't have anyone in 23. Like, I used his years with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Like, I don't know what else you want me to do. And Jalen Hurts is doing comparable stuff there. Similar pass attempts, more pass attempts, deep ball pass. We're using the 2 most important games of the season. We're not using week 7, week 9 against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Oakland Raiders, you know, the New York Giants. It's the Super Bowls, the literal Super Bowls, and the conference championship games. It doesn't get any bigger than that. And Jalen Hurts is doing big time stuff. A lot of pass attempts, deep ball passing at a higher rate. A higher rate with a higher completion percentage. But it's just not good enough because of A.J. Brown and Devontae. Okay. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Puka Nakua, or not, excuse me, OBJ and Cooper Kupp. Yeah. Stafford had more deep ball passing attempts, and he completed 4 of them. 4 for 13. He had a 30% completion percentage in the conference championship game and the Super Bowl. Not very good. That's with OBJ in his prime at that point. He fell off undeniably, but when he was playing with the Rams, he was peaked. That's why you had people like LeBron James saying, free OBJ, free OBJ. Cooper Kupp, beast of a wide receiver, MVP in the Super Bowl. And it's perfect too because here's Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, 3 completions, 8 attempts, 37.5 completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The passer rating for Matthew Stafford, 63.5. Joe Burrow, 85.4. Again, all similar circumstances. This is specifically deep ball passing. Specifically deep ball passing. And don't give me anything about O-lines. During those deep ball passing, experienced pressure twice. Mahomes twice. Josh Allen 3 times. If we go back to 2021, Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow didn't have a good O-line. 3, 2, it's all within range. This is what's nice when you do very specific, narrow metrics, because we're putting it into a vacuum and comparing it to. We're not saying overall. And then, of course, it completely takes away the rushing attack for Jalen Hurts because we want to pretend like that doesn't matter for him. Jalen Hurts in the conference championship game in Super Bowl, he rushed for 88 yards, 4.2 yards per attempt, 4 touchdowns, 0 fumbles. Patrick Mahomes, 2 touchdowns, 2 fumbles. Yikes. Only 68 yards. Jalen Hurts had 21 attempts. Patrick Mahomes only 15. What about Patrick Mahomes in his Super Bowl year? He's not even up there because I have to lower the attempts to even just make him eligible. Oh, in his two games, he rushed for only 52 yards. This is now the same year where they both obviously went to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. This is 22 now. Patrick Mahomes had 9 rushing attempts, 52 yards. That's weird. What about 2019? Surely. I mean, he was Mr. Dual Threat back then. 82 yards. There we go. 2 touchdowns. 3 fumbles. Yikes. 17 attempts. But what about Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford? Joe Burrow rocking it with the 28 yards. Whoa, look at that. That's money right there. Matthew Stafford, 14 yards. Yes. That's money. Those 14 yards must have been crucial for that Super Bowl win. Crucial. Make it make sense. I'm struggling to. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about this context about Jalen Hurts? We're just adding context. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.